So you're standing in the fishing island, it feels like the walls are closing in. You're surrounded by thousands of lures with every color imaginable, dozens of rods, and literally a wall of fishing line with words that might as well be a foreign language. It's overwhelming. You just want to know what you actually need to catch a trout, and you're thinking there has to be a simpler way. Well, you're in the right place today. Today we're cutting through all that noise. Forget breaking the bank and losing your mind and trying to figure it all out. Stick with me and I'll give you a simple, proven system with just a handful of items that will get you out in the water and catching fish this weekend. This is trout fishing simplified. Section 1, the foundation. All right, first things first, the rod, the reel, and the line. This is the heart of the setup, and it's where most beginners get paralyzed by choice, but it's actually incredibly simple. What you're looking for is a lightweight spinning rod and reel combo. For trout, a rod between 6 and 7 feet long is the perfect sweet spot for a beginner. A 6'6" rod is the undisputed jack of all trades, giving you enough length to cast, keeping things manageable in tighter spots. You'll see these things sold together as a combo, which is exactly what you want. Don't feel like you need to spend a fortune. A reliable combo from a brand you'll recognize will serve you well for years. The magic words you're looking for are light, ultralight power. This just means the rod is sensitive enough to feel the trout's subtle bite and flexible enough to make fighting them an absolute blast. First things first, the rod that you use is literally the backbone of your success. It's one of the most important pieces of equipment. The rod dictates how easy or difficult reeling the fish in will be. The sensitivity determines if you notice a fish biting or you miss setting the hook. The amount of eye guides that a pole has is a sign of a quality fishing rod. The more eyes, the better retrieve and cast ability. For beginners, I would suggest using a medium fast action 2-piece lightweight rod. Don't make the mistake of buying a 1-piece rod for trout fishing. Becomes a nightmare trying to navigate through thick forest and woods which many trout streams flow through. The top 3 fishing pole manufacturers: Ugly Stick, proven durability. Best for beginner anglers and rough use applications. Ugly Stick series combines fiberglass and graphite construction to nearly indestructible performance. These rods bend to extreme angles without breaking, making them perfect for pure fishing and youth anglers. While heavier than pure graphite alternatives, Ugly Stick delivers reliable service for decades with minimal maintenance. Number 2, St. Croix, American craftsmanship. Best for freshwater finesse and premium applications. St. Croix represents American rod manufacturing at its best. With over 70 years of Minnesota-based craftsmanship, their proprietary SC2 graphite and advanced reinforcing technology deliver exceptional sensitivity while maintaining durability. St. Croix excels in freshwater applications, particularly bass, trout, and walleye. Their rod action translates subtle bites into hook sets. Their Legend Tournament series consistently ranks among tournament anglers' top choices. Offering precise action curves and premium components, St. Croix backs every rod with a 5-year warranty and maintains rigorous quality control standards that result in consistent performance across their lineup. Penn for serious fishing and offshore applications. Penn has dominated fishing for over 85 years, building rods specifically engineered for corrosive marine environments. Their Prevail and Battalion series feature corrosion-resistant guides, reinforced blanks, and components designed to withstand saltwater abuse. There's nothing worse for an angler to make a great cast and hook a monster only to lose the fish when the fishing line snaps. Monofilament, fluorocarbon, and braided line from different brands can look similar, but when it's time to catch, knowing the difference is the key to landing more fish. God damn it. The best fishing line for most people is the spider wire stealth braid. It's good for catching everything from tiny bluegill to hefty coho salmon. It's super strong, durable, and it casts far. But you need to use special knots to get the most out of it. If you're on a budget, do everything well. To do everything well, Berkley Trilene XL is the best buy fishing line for the majority of fishing environments. It's a surprisingly flexible monofilament that beginners can use to tie nearly every kind of fishing knot. Repeatable success. If you're after a very smart pressured fish in clear water, a better, stealthier option is to consider a good low visibility fluorocarbon like Berkley Vanish. Fluorocarbon is truly difficult to spot underwater. Using the right type, pound test, and brand is also very important. I suggest using Power Pro Braid 10-pound test for spinner fishing for trout. This is what I use with my setup. Braid is what I use exclusively for spinner trout fishing. When I fish with night crawlers, I prefer trialing XL monofilament. Monofilament, on the other hand, is used for live baits such as night crawlers and minnows. Don't make the mistake of using the wrong type of line with the wrong bait. Using a crawler with braided line will get you too much twist. Using spinners on monofilament line will get you too much twist. Both will end up a bird's nest, tangled mess of line. Be careful not to buy the cheaper, lesser no brands. Cheaper line has weak spots and it's prone to snapping. Next, we'll discuss the engine of the whole operation, the reel. Here are three reels that I've used to determine the best. Pfluger President spinning reel, size 30, right left hand position, graphite body and rotor. Corrosion resistant aluminum spool front drag system, considered excellent. The Penn Battle 2 2500 series spinning reel has a gear ratio of 6:2:1, 5 kilograms of drag. Mono capacity is 255 yards of 6-pound test, or 240 yards of 10-pound test. The braid capacity is 240 yards of 10-pound test. Number 3, Shimano Stratic FL 2500, my personal favorite. 6+1 ball bearings, 6:0:1 gear ratio, 140 yard line capacity, 35 inches each crank it brings in. Shimano Stratic has a micro module gear 2. You'll experience a rotational smoothness and power transfer never before achieved in a reel at this price point. The couple micro module gear 2 with silent drive, which fine tunes internal components to the highest tolerances possible, and you'll agree the Stratic approaches flagship level performance. Plus, Shimano's X-Protect water repellent coating and specifically designed water challenging labyrinth construction ensure a lifetime of top level performance by stopping water penetrating in key areas without adding a heavy rotational feel. There are a few reasons why this is my favorite reel. It's important to have a high gear ratio of 6:0:1, fast retrieve with fewer cranks on the reel. Most importantly, it's water resistant. Other reels I've gotten wet or got a little bit of dirt in and they stopped working. This reel has been dunked and dropped directly into the stream with no problems. Don't make the mistake of getting the larger 3000 series, it's too big and bulky. Easy beginner tutorial on trout fishing essentials. And for this one, I got my super duper great white reel, the 4 wide. They don't make this anymore. 5:4 gear ratio, stainless steel. The drag on this thing's phenomenal. Built this rod myself, 94. It's a G Loomis. G Loomis. You can see that. And this is a 8/17 line weight. It's to an ounce, 3/4 of an inch to an ounce. I am 6. So now I gotta check the box here. So this is a box full of trout magnets, all different shapes and sizes. And then you have all of the gold jigs. Those little tiny ones are the actual, I don't think you can see them. Those are the actual trout magnet. They come with these little floats, little football floats. So that's what I'll be putting on. Fortunately, I didn't have fluorocarbon with me, so we will. So you can see the current, so I might as well let the current take it. Should have wore the waders. It's kind of nice though, because it's just free floating. Really deep here, so I would normally put sinkers on. Didn't have that with me, but you want to get up by the current. You want to get over by the wall early morning. You didn't have much rain, so, and they're not letting any water out, so there's probably not enough current here to, I mean, this current's good, but you want a big flow and you want the rain to drive these fish in. We're talking steelhead and anadromous brown. Now basically it's just a walleye thing. So anyway, I'm way up there. Anyway, this is how you use the trout magnet. As you can see with this braided line, it's very cast. It's kind of fishing, you got to watch your bobber. As soon as it goes down, set the hook. Whether it's a rock or a snag, it doesn't matter, because it's usually a fish. Especially if you drift it through a number of times and nothing happens, and then you drift it through the same section, it goes down, most likely it's a trout. Let the current take it. You want to get up by the current, you want to get over by the wall. Morning, water out, so you got to watch your bobber. As soon as it goes down, set the hook. Whether it's a rock or a snag, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is how you use the trout magnet. Like I said, again, mend that extra line just like fly fishing. I think my third technique style is going to be the best, which is the spinner. But to tell you the truth, the spot, I don't know. There might be a couple big ones in here, but there's no one fishing. That gives you an idea. Even though it is deer hunting right now, it's my favorite time to steelhead fish because they're hunting. But you have to have the weather cooperate. It's too warm. You didn't get enough rain, so on and so forth. All right, well, I'm going to wrap that up. So now you know how to bait this up. You know how to bait it up. You know how to cast it. That's what you would do with a trout magnet. You can use that on spring ponds. It works pretty good. Just got to get your depth adjusted properly. And all right, this is my best chance at actually hooking something. So just reel her nice and slow. You can feel the blade going. Anything's going to hit, it'll hit this. I do like fresh spawn sacks. And we're talking mainly right now, we're talking lake run trout. But resident trout, it's pretty much the same thing. This big hole here, you could catch anything from a sturgeon to salmon to a whitefish to pink salmon, which aren't supposed to be in here, to splake, to rainbows, to browns, and everything else in between, maybe even lake trout. I didn't bring my temperature gauge today, but and either way, with weather like this, who cares if you catch a fish? It's just fun to be out here and then having the opportunity and the excitement of possibly hooking one until you finally do hook one. Then it becomes exciting. It's exciting either way because you just never know when you go fishing. So, might need a roll cast. Look at this. It's causing problems right away, which it should. I got so much wind. I probably want to bring it down here and shoot it. Take the current and shoot it up that way. Nope. Sometimes you spring load it. You let the current take it down, and then, like a slingshot, you can get it up there. If I hook it on this without it, I forgot the net. But anyway, twitch it along. Try a roll cast. I don't know if that'll work. It's too windy. So yeah, better off loading it downstream and slingshotting it back up. So that would be a technique you would use when you're using this. You want to kind of slap it down, get the attention, get their attention. So that's technique number 2. And I'm going to demonstrate these. These are thick rubber neoprene boots. Cabela's duck waders. Super thick, keep you warm in the spring. It's nice to have an extra pair of these. Here's the pair of waist ties, stocking foot, zipper up, good quality. These cost like $3.89, almost the same price as the full. This is the other boot that I forgot to tell you, or I did tell you about. It is the felt sole, which I put the cleats on. I put the cleats on. There's a pair of those for the rocks. But anyway, to keep the sun out of your eyes when you're trout fishing, very important. Along with, this is the thermocell that I didn't show you. This is what I use when I'm up north in the thick shit. These are polarized, but they're bifocals. It's a must to have these when you're fishing in the trout stream, so you can see the fish, so you don't spook the fish, so you can see where you're walking. And you can get any kind of pair of polarized. You can get the amber, which lightens things up, but I prefer the standard polarized, cuts the glare off, see the fish. Well, if you just had standard glasses on, you wouldn't. Huge advantage, must have. Last but not least, here's a Big Arbor reel. I'm not sure, 7/8. And I have this rod, which is a telescopic, that I ultimately, the woolly bugger, which I ultimately got because it breaks down into a fly rod, or it can switch over to pull this out, switch it around the other way, it turns into spin rod, and it's got a container. I was going to bring this with me along just in case, but it's just extra stuff I have to carry to stick with the standards that I have. It's the same kind of rod this is. I mean, it's a shitty Cortland fly reel. I've had this forever. This is the same thing. This thing switches out to be a fly or a spinner. I do have the rod rule, which measures up to what, 32 inches, something like that. So this is an Eagle Claw, 7'6", number 7 weight, and you can use 8.5 ounce. I mean, this is a big daddy. This would be for steelhead or bigger fish. It's a 4-piece. It also has a container to go in. This one is a quality. It's a St. Croix TRS 6. Well, that would have been great. Break tip off. 48 pound test. 1/4 ounce to 5/16 ounce. SC11 carbon. TSR 6 foot OLF. Yeah, and I got the rod rule on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 eyes. Very sensitive. I broke the tip off on that 17-inch brown that you guys saw me catch in one of my videos. Real lightweight, great action on this thing. Love it. One piece is the problem, so I have a hard time getting in and out of the woods. So here we go with the Shakespeare GX2. And this is 6'6", medium action, 6 to 15 pound test. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyes on it, and then it's got the fiberglass tip, which I broke off and I re-glued on. And I usually have issues with this thing etching with my braided line. I'm going to have to look into that because then you can't cast, it gets stuck in there. 2 more ugly sticks because I realized these were the best things you're going to get. Abu Garcia. And it's a 5/8 to 1. It's a pretty good gear ratio. It's got six ball bearings. Like I also said, I have a pole like this. Really like that length, that extra length. This is a good tiny little reel. It's a Fluger. It's got a cork handle. And 5 to 2 to 1, tiny. So like I said, I would never use this spinner casting because some of my videos, you can see I'm just cranking like this, and by the time I go to bed after casting 1,000 times in a day, my hand was getting so sore and so much pain, and I realized it was from cranking because the gear ratio is tiny reel for one, the size of diameter makes a difference, and the amount I had to crank just to get the spinner going. So that's these little tiny reels are good for crawlers, live bait, the trout magnets, like I said, things along those lines. So here's another one of my old backup fly rods. I mean, I've done a lot of fly fishing, but it's not a very long rod. Something I could just throw in the truck and take with me and beat around. So there's some more of my rods that I've been through, but my go-to is obviously the ugly stick, any type of ugly stick. The G Loomis, I got that for steelhead, and that St. Croix I got as a gift, and then my sister got that for me. And it's wonderful, but it's one piece, and I have such difficulty getting through the woods with that. So, but a great rod if you're not going into the bush. So, all right, that's that. I'm starting this video out today with the essentials for beginner trout fishermen, like the bare bones minimum items that you can get away with. The first items, one of the most important things, is your rod. So I have a Shimano Stratic. I put on 10-pound braided line closely. I have a swivel on. It's a snap swivel. It's just a snap. So I use the braided line. This is an ugly stick, and this is a 6-foot medium action. And I use this on all the basic streams where I'm not actually planning on catching too big of a monster. I'll go to the bigger pole for this. For that. The only problem with using braided is these eyes started getting etched, and the line gets caught up in there, and it's many different types. This has usually got a piece on the bottom that keeps it from going straight in, but nothing can handle the conditions of when I get out there, because I'm so extreme. But wading staff, very important. Fall in the river and helps keep your balance. It's a must. Now when I really want to get down and have some fun, I will use my Orvis Clearwater 7-weight 10-foot fly rod, and it is a beaut. And I have it paired up with Clearwater 4. I can't remember the backing is. Wading boots. These have rubber soles, and other ones will have, so there's two kinds of wading boots. There's the rubber footing, which you can put the spikes on, which I have done in the past. And then there are the ones that have, the felt bottoms. Felt bottoms are great for rocky streams. Slippery rocks work great for that. However, some of the spots that you go to have some rocks and they have sand also. But the ones that are known for having the rocks with the limestone geography, those are the ones you want to wear the felt soles. The rubber soles you would want to wear with the sand, the muck, and for getting in and out of the river on the banks, it gives you footing. When you have the felt bottoms on the banks, it feels like you're walking in moccasins and you slip and fall. And it is rain gear, so I have the rain gear here as backup in case it does rain. Real lightweight. I want to bring it with you just in case. Is a pair of breathable waders. This one actually has a zipper in the front, which helps you get in and out of them, which can be difficult. Stocking foot bottoms. So stocking foot bottoms, and some come with boot on, but I prefer the stocking foot. So I have a pair of these, and I have a pair of, what do they call them? Then I also have a pair of waist-high waders like that. And in the peak of summer, I generally just fish wet wading because it gets so hot. Here's another important piece, very important, the net. Without this, when you hook those big ones, you are in big trouble, boys and girls. It's got the rubber ghost net. I think this is the 20-inch hoop, and I have a bigger one than this for the days that I plan on catching the 20-plussers. Of course, you have the tether, so I also have it with magnetic locks that go onto my vest. When that goes onto my vest, pops off, but then it goes into the river. So then you'll want it to not float away from you. Very important piece for catch and release. And of course, is a hybrid. It's a vest, but it's also a backpack. So on my vest, I have a fish counter. I have my snips for when I retie lines and knots. Temperature gauge, very expensive, $100. So I can tell the temperatures. The hemostats to get the hooks out. Try not to carry too much. In that particular vest, I have the spinners. I do bring a life straw, just in case, because I bring water with me sometimes and I don't like to carry too much water. This has saved me more than once from dehydration. Great thing to have along with a compass. Crawlers or live bait. I have the hooks. And I have the sinkers that I have as backup just in case I get to some finicky trout, schools of trout that aren't reacting to the spinners. Make sure you follow the trout book for regulations to know if you can use live bait in certain spots. Bug dope, it's essential in the summer. you get swarmed. I use this, I use Thermacell with me. Final item I bring with me usually is a stringer, just in case you fatally wound one. You can keep them, put them on the stringer, take them home with you. So those are the basic items that you would need to get started to try to catch some trout.